class, this is Dr. Young. I just want to spend a few minutes going over the DB question for the week. This week we have been focusing in on the French Revolution and Napoleon. I want to focus in, of course, what you're seeing now is the week instruction page, the weekly instruction page. I want to scroll down to the actual question, and I want to remind you that your initial posts have to be between 300 and 500 words, and your responses have to be at least 150, both of them together. So we were focusing in on the French Revolution, and then, of course, after the Revolution, the rise of Napoleon. And so we want to take a look at Napoleon and how he is going to impact not only the history of France, but also, of course, the history of Europe. And so the question we're focusing in on this week is the significance of Napoleon. There was a PowerPoint that is on Blackboard, and also, of course, in the textbook itself, it's mentioning significant domestic accomplishments. So the first thing I want you to do is tell the class what you think Napoleon's most significant domestic accomplishment happened to be. And then explain to us why you chose that one besides others. And then I want you to think about the significance that Napoleon's military campaigns had on other parts of Europe. And again, think about not just the idea of the military itself, but in terms of what happens after the military comes in and conquers an area. So it's more than just the military campaign itself, but also in terms of what the military does after you conquer a particular country, in terms of what happens after. So again, it's kind of a little bit more of a complex question than just what impact do you think the military campaigns had. Obviously, it had tremendous impact, but what do you think was the most significant of the campaigns in terms of how it impacted other parts of Europe? And again, make sure you provide at least one quote. You don't really need more than one. Make sure you cite properly. And then the second question is going to deal with the reader. So I want you to look in two different sections. The first is the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. And then the Olympe de Gouges Declaration of the Rights of Women. So I want you to kind of look at these two, okay? One written by the French Assembly and the other by a particular person. How are they similar? How are these two documents similar? How are they different? Okay, so we're looking at similarities and differences. And what do you think de Gaulle, they envision women in civil society? And how does this projected role that is given for women differ really from the social realities of what life was really like? So, and again, one of these, of course, I mean, both of these documents, in one sense, you can say, is kind of the ideal, right? Both of these are kind of the ideal. But how does this projected view, because in the Declaration of Rights of Man, you're basically looking at men. And then, of course, you have this other document looking at the rights for women. Okay, and so obviously one is more of a theoretical, more of a aspirational than reality. And so how does this projected role for women really differ from the situation that women found themselves in France in the 18th century? So again, we're looking at the revolution in France and how that really is going to transform the politics of Europe. If you have any questions, please email me.